Thanks for hanging out with me for another reaction. I think I have a lot of thoughts about this one, especially this is a reaction to, I think, reading number 7. Hopefully I'm right. Oh, also, I decided I'm not going to do the Patreon thing. I'm just going to upload all these for free on YouTube. I have my reasons. Don't worry about me. Anyway, yeah, I think the way this one ended stays with me about like how the Rustin bars was gray in hair, was white in hair, gray in vision, brown on teeth. Because that's one of the scariest things about being locked up. Just feeling like the world is passing you by. Your aging process has just been accelerated. I remember when I first got out. It was a time when automatic tellers, like at supermarkets and stuff, was just coming out. So it's kind of weird to walk in the store and see that people wanted you to check out your own groceries. You know, like I work there or something like that. But so stuff like that made me feel a little old. Although I got over it. But couple things. One, inkheads. Inkheads was just my way of just taking the phrase skinheads and turning it into something new that would fit for the future. Kind of like just pointing toward a kind of maturation process or evolution of Nazism. Facial descriptions. I do a couple in this scene, and it's interesting because I actually started to really enjoy them. I would Google like types of eyes or types of nose, types of lips, and just try to a sort of face, but not just say the eyes were here, this, or the nose was that. But like one line says something like the thin nose is pointing toward a square jaw, like kind of adding some action to the descriptions in the face, so that when reading the face, it almost seems like the reveal of the face is an action moment. It's not just like the story stops, so you can like know what this person looks like. And for a long time, I never did faces because Stephen King, like I read his book on writing. He's like, what's the point? And I guess I just kind of went with that. But then I read some stories where where characters were really well detailed. Like, I think the point is it's kind of cool to have some sense of what the character looks like. Also, I had students, like a lot of students who tell me that they actually do respond very powerfully to very clear description. Like some people can actually see the person in their head. For other people, it's just words on the page that just helps them have context for the story. So knowing that there are those two types of readers, I decided to kind of make the project as detailed as possible and throw in some facial descriptions. I don't think you necessarily need them. I've read plenty of good books where the descriptions weren't that well known to me, and it didn't inhibit my enjoyment of the story at all. I'm just looking at my notes here. Oh yeah, random little tidbit. I described the striated plasma rifle with the transparent barrel only because a friend of mine, one of my favorite classmates, asked me to. He just wanted to know what the rifle looked like. It's like, yeah, I'll throw it in there. Red Aurora paint. Yeah, this is another example. The paint that Lacey has on her fingernails that turns to gold when her fingers move and stays red is red when her fingers stay still, and how it's releasing the benefits of sunshine to her bloodstream. I read about this because, well, I didn't read about that. That I made up, but it was inspired by an article I read about a potential medical procedure where a simple blood test would be able to determine whether or not you're depressed. So I thought, okay, so if it's possible, potentially one day will be possible to look at somebody's blood and say, all right, you're like 25% depressed, whatever. Why not something like nail polish that would get into your bloodstream? And really, it started with nail polish because I was reading something about how like some nail polishes can be toxic, or whatever. So I was like, all right, that's just Aurora paint. That's how that came to be. And again, that's just my point about how just general curiosity about anything can really help you put together some of the nice details of your story, whatever your story may be about. And the last thing, dark arena. So the inmates call the Sylvester Correctional, whatever it is, the prison, the dark arena, because dark things happen there. I chose dark arena because when I was a kid, Mario Puzo, the author of The Godfather, was one of my favorite writers. Looking back, I wouldn't say he was a great writer. I think he was a compelling storyteller, but he had like a lot of run-on sentences and a lot of skippable paragraphs and some other stuff that, today he probably couldn't get away with writing. But so his first book, or at least one of his first books, was called The Dark Arena. And it's about this World War II vet who's just kind of trying to come to terms with the result of the war. And I love that book. I actually loved most of his books. And so yeah, I just took Dark Arena because I think originally this story was going to be more of like a mobster type story, and it just kind of evolved into the story it is now, the Afrofuture epic. But Mario Puzo's storytelling for me was impactful because it was one of the earliest iterations in my life where I understood that reading can be fun. Because I mean, sometimes he was raunchy, sometimes he was just funky or like filthy, and I liked that stuff when I was a kid. But yeah, I just learned, oh, reading a book can actually be fun. It doesn't have to be all like just, I don't know, math equations or history about dead people I don't really care that much about. And I think it's important to understand how reading can be fun. Like I really personally enjoy it a lot. Yeah, so that's my recap for this reading, and I'll try to keep up with the numbers, but frankly, I'm not gonna nail it 100% of the time. This is